a great morning. I want to start off the morning I'm going to use the little Thelema deck. And just start off by asking what happened with Lindsey Graham. Now, there are two things. They say they went and his heart had stopped, but they also said he had a brief illness that came up. So we don't really know what happened with him. But I want to just ask the cards and see if they can shed some light on the Lindsey Graham happenings. Yeah, this is something that happened rapidly. Rapid incoming is what it's saying. Energy coming into it is the Hierophant, experts. So maybe he had asked for some expert advice for something that was coming in rapidly. Above it, we have the Five of Pentacles. So it looks like it's about the reality that he was outside, I think, of the aid that could have helped him. And the foundation is the light is coming out on this. Okay. So let's see what's going on. The truth. Recent things are about truth. The challenge was the long term. Truth about long term. Above it, we have, just feeling very leery, trying to see what is coming up. In this deck, he's not standing guard. He's looking at what's growing with this. Okay, what's growing with things. Okay. The foundation is the new cup. So this new thing that happened with him came on very rapidly, consulted experts, the truth about the long term. Okay, potential outcome was what was being handed out, being weighed. Okay, the reality of it, what was handed out. And outside influence was this stuff. It was look like a lot of burden, mental burden, a lot of stress. The truth coming down. Heavy mental problems with it. Above it, death. And we know this is really the death card because he has passed. The foundation is 10 of Cups. So a lot of emotional stuff. This affected him apparently on all different layers. The realistic thing that was handed out, the mental stuff that was happening was very heavy on him, and the fullness of the emotion, this new cup, the light coming in on it. Outside of things, looking to see what was growing. Like he's leaving his position of standing guard. Usually he's been really an advocate for Trump on so many things, but it's the truth of it, the long term, the new cup, it's like he was losing interest in standing guard on perhaps some things. And then we had the death. So let's see what's driving it. First card out is Trump. So what's driving it? Trump, the desires about the control, what's gaining strength was about the Lovers and looking for some justice, message about an action, And then the wanting to control actions, mental racing forward. When it comes to the messaging, gaslighting, and I think it all became heavy for him, mentally, physically painful. The new reality coming in, the choices being made in life about his past, etc. The wheel turning. When it comes to a victory, what he's done in his life, the leadership, the things that they tried to get away with. The things, again, being held, left behind, etc. About the mentality. Standing guard, push back, actions going forward, pushing forward, what was being worked on, seeing the tower moment coming, what was built and constructed, and just wanting to, again, somehow believing some of this. Saw what was coming in. It's about the actions in hand, what's being held, what's being shared, the message of reality, new information, judgment, what was being offered up, and more internal searching, mentally retreating because of this being bound mentally, okay? And facing the loss when it comes to the manipulations of the White House and the harvest of what's been hidden, the evidence in hand about the abuses of power, things being overturned, the ongoing nightmare with that, the things up in the air. When it comes to the delusion, when it comes to the failing mental health, I think of Trump as well. So the message, information, what's juggled, ongoing stress, what's being pondered, and just wanting to exit from where things were moving to have more temperance with what's being held, the reality of what the situation is, the burden of it, the blocking of things, the new actions, the agreement when it comes to the world, being ruled by emotions, the lid is off, with a wealth of the next move, and the fullness of the reality of the dark side. Okay. Now, it looks like part of it, he was under a lot of mental, physical pressure. This came up rapidly. Looks like he consulted some experts. But the truth about the long-term, weighing everything out, and all of this stuff coming down. Now, he was big advocate for Ukraine, but he was also the big advocate for the war in Iran. But I think part of it, it looks like he was seeing the failing mental health of Trump as well, and that was getting to him as well. I think there were a lot of ongoing behind-the-scenes battles when it comes to Trump. So it looks like, yes, there was something that came up, but this was apparently hitting him emotionally, mentally, a lot of stress, and looking at the reality of the situation, seeing that Republicans and things are going down the tubes, and Trump's failing mental health and the things that are going on with all of that. I think that Lindsay really had taken on a lot of stuff behind the scenes, pressure, if you will, in all different directions, emotionally, mentally, physically. This all aided in his recent illness. We still don't know what it was, but I think it contributed to his exiting. Now, we plan our own exiting times. We have a number of times we can exit, and I think at this time, he just went, he had this opportunity to exit, and he said, I'm out of here this time. I'm out of here. I'm done with this. Okay? I am done with this. It's become overwhelming. It's become very overwhelming, and so he exited. Okay. But it's interesting, the very last card is the devil, the dark side. So I want to pull 3 cards and see whatever else it is. The Master of Crystals. The crystals in this deck is the reality. Again, reality, the things being weighed, what's being offered up realistically, and the past. The past, reality, what's being offered up, what's being handed out, and the past. So all of these things seem to have been weighing on him. How reality's being handed. Again, taking the lid off. And the evidence in hand, the situations realistically that were going on, this new cup. Above it, tower moments coming. The light is on it, the solar deity. The light is coming through on all of this. On the tower moment at hand. And the hangman, things being overturned. Things being overturned. Controlling the action. Master of Flames. So what's being handed out, crossing it, the actions in hand. Again, the new reality of things. And the rapid happenings, mentality being constricted by the mental reality of what's taking place. So the writing on the wall, everything is in crash and burn mode. So he decided, this is my time to exit. That's it. I'm not hanging around anymore. I'm out of here. Okay. So he decided to take this exit point. On that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.